All right, so Treyarch just got done with their announcement of Black Ops 4. Well, kind of the reveal, not the announcement. We already knew Black Ops 4 was coming. We got a peek at the multiplayer action. We got a peek at the zombies, and the kind of like more obvious, but still unconfirmed announcement was that they're going to do a Battle Royale game mode. So let's go ahead and touch on all three. First thing I'm going to note is the multiplayer. Boots on the ground, perfect. I was worried that they might revert to some sort of advanced movements. We still have the sliding. I'm cool with the sliding versus the dolphin diving. I love dolphin diving, but the sliding after going back to World War II, it feels right to have sliding at this point. One interesting note was the way they're handling their specialists. I got a real strong vibe of influence from Rainbow Six Siege. Not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. Rainbow Six Siege is an incredibly popular game. Fun game, a game that I streamed a lot on my channel, and I'm also thinking about picking that back up. But it's definitely like, you learn from the best, and I'll be one of the ones to say that Rainbow Six Siege is one of the better shooters to grace gaming in quite some time. Released in 2015. We're now 2.5 years later, and the game is going strong, still releasing free content. So definitely good to see Treyarch and by extension Activision look at this and kind of try to mold it. Now, I don't think it's going to be a carbon copy. We didn't get too deep into the details about the specialists, but I do get that operator vibe from Rainbow Six Siege, so that's cool. The maps look interesting. The gameplay and all that they quickly showed, not bad. I'm looking forward to it. Zombies. I love zombies. I've been a big fan of the zombies mode ever since it was a little Easter egg at the end of World at War. I remember discovering that for the first time and being freaked out. And I've been a religious follower of zombies the whole way through, specifically Treyarch zombies. I don't like I can't really think of a zombies game mode where I'm like, yeah, okay, I really want to play it, other than Treyarch ones. The last one at World War II, is not bad. Not bad, but nothing, I think, compared to what we have with Treyarch zombies. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to the continuation. The fact that we're in 3 maps, and one of them is essentially a remake of Mob of the Dead, that's awesome. That is awesome. Is it called Mob of the Dead? I think it's Mob of the Dead. Anyways, the one out of Alcatraz. Looks like it's going to be with the original 4 cast, so we'll see if it's going to be just a carbon copy or kind of a continuation, like the original 4 crew just jumping back onto Alcatraz and just dealing with the aftermath of, the 4 inmates that escaped at the end of the Easter egg. Spoilers. But the game's been out for years, so it shouldn't be spoilers at this point. Anyways, what else from zombies? Nothing else. I like I always say, whenever they introduce a new cast, I'm always like, I want the original 4, but in the last iteration where, I had Jeff Goldblum and a few of the others, it was pretty good. So I'm gonna hold judgment for, these new ones. Definitely having the first map look like it's set in a Coliseum. It's pretty cool. I don't put too much stock into when swords and shields and all that kind of appear, because we've seen it before where, in a trailer, somebody kills somebody with a knife, and then you have a million YouTube videos trying to dissect that, and they all end up being wrong, about the looking too much into it. Sure, it generates lots of hits, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give you my opinion on that, and I'm gonna hold optimism. I'm not going to say, yeah, it's going to be a great mode. I doubt it'll be a bad one. Treyarch knows zombies. They invented it, and they've mastered it. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely going to play it. And then, finally, they announced Battle Royale. Something that, in stream, whenever I was playing PUBG, a lot of us would talk about, AAA company needs to build a Battle Royale game or game mode and then go for it. I and a few others in chat, kind of pegged Call of Duty to be that first, publisher, developer, whatever, game franchise to really embrace Battle Royale, and here we are. The other one was, I think we probably will see a Battlefield variant as well, but That's going to be a completely different ballgame. What I am looking at here with Call of Duty, they announced like all the most of the iconic features of certain maps from previous Black Ops games should make their way into this map. The questions that we need answered are, how big exactly? They said it was something like 1,700 times or something. It was larger than Nuketown, but Nuketown's one of the smallest maps, right? So I'm interested to see how big the map is and how many people can be in on this. So if it's 100 people, cool. If it's more, awesome. If it's less, we'll need to see how the gameplay flows. I am optimistic, but at the same time, I am also I'm weary. I want to see how this plays out. They did talk about playing as characters from the past. Awesome, that's awesome. And they did mention something about like zombies. Like you could play as Tank, Dempsey. You can play as Tekeo, Richtofen, like all the lineup of people they've had for zombies. However, I'm not 100% sure if they're including zombie wonder weapons and like crates or stuff like that. I got that impression from what was said, but I'm not 100% sure if I interpreted that correctly. I do see this, if this is a success by any stretch, that means the end of PUBG and that means the end of Fortnite. I think neither of those games can stand up to Call of Duty. Call of Duty isn't the juggernaut that it once was about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's still got a lot of weight. It still produces the most amount of sales. And while I think Fortnite will still keep its free-to-play players, I think there's a lot of that player base that came from Call of Duty. So I would expect those players to go back to Call of Duty, leaving the free-to-play players on Fortnite. And I do think that Fortnite, and I've said this many times, I think the reason why it's been so successful is that it's free to play. Baseline. Yeah, I can see why it's fun to play, but I think the fact that it's free to play really made it the juggernaut that it is. I absolutely think PUBG, at least on Xbox, is dead in the water at this point. If PUBG can't release a full working game by October, it's dead. It's finished. On PC, I think PUBG still has a presence there. Probably Fortnite maybe as well. But on consoles, I think Call of Duty is king. And that will effectively kill off PUBG for sure. Unless PUBG does a 180 and they really are able to hone their gameplay, their graphics, the crashing, everything that makes PUBG frustrating and smooth that all out. It might survive, but I think by the end of the year, end of Q1, beginning of Q2 2019, it's going to be, they're done. They're just done. It's going to be a ghost town for both PUBG and Fortnite. Fortnite has the ability to withstand it just because it's a free-to-play game. We'll see. But yeah, I think PUBG's days are numbered at this point, but we'll see. Let me know what you think about the announcements for Black Ops 4. Are you excited? I am. I'm probably going to be getting it day one. And let me know what you thought about the Battle Royale mode. Are you a Battle Royale fan, or are you somebody that's like, oh my God, like can this fad just stop? Which I don't think it's a fad. I think it's a brand new game type that we're going to see in the future. We're going to see a lot more of this. I just think Call of Duty is the first one to really take that game in a AAA environment and then implement it. So until next time, good gaming.